Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm LSD, and I'm with my homeboy Eggs over here.
What's up?
And we're two fated to play. I was pretty fucked up. I think I'm still fucked up from last night.
Hit me a little bit.
Dude, last night was crazy. We're basically a drinking podcast, and I don't know if I want to drink today.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself a little bit.
It's gonna be a water episode, man. We went too hard in the paint last night. Oh man, so what's been going on with you, sir?
Well, I guess aside from yesterday, I've been playing a couple of games. I played. It's called the Talos Principle 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a puzzle game, and I enjoyed. I think it's pretty fun. It's nothing like crazy. It's just a fun puzzle game.
Oh, okay.
Then I started playing Star Ocean Second Story Remake, which is a remake of an old PS1 game.
I remember Star Ocean.
And I haven't gotten too far in that one, but it's been good so far.
Okay. Me actually came up on some arcade cabinets over the week, and I called Eggs and I was like, "Hey man, you want an arcade cabinet?" And the first thing he was like, "Is it free?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of free." But so we went and got them, and I've been rebuilding that pretty much all week.
Yeah.
Got pretty far in it, so it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, you've made pretty good progress on it.
Yeah, so, I'm at the stage where I'm about to paint it.
Okay.
I did that adjustment this morning to get the controller to slide down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at the stage where I'm about to paint it. Gonna run a Raspberry Pi 3 in it.
Okay.
Because that's the one that I had. I just had to remod it again.
Okay.
But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think it's gonna be real good. I'll probably have it done next weekend.
Yeah, you jumped right into it and started changing it up, and because the one I got, I kind of wanted to play around with it a little bit, see if I could get it working. And I've messed with it a tiny bit. I haven't done a whole lot with it because editing the podcast kind of held me up from that. But the most I've been able to do is I cleaned it, and I was playing with some wires, and I changed a capacitor, and now it makes some really scary electric popping noises. But so
yeah, that cabinet, I pretty much gutted it the first day. That was like the easy part. But then I started cutting, making my own wood. I put a 24-inch monitor in there, LCD, and got the buttons. I already had the buttons because I was going to mod a arcade one up. And I just never got around to doing it. And I just had these buttons and stuff for years. And shout out to the man who sold them to me. Actually was I was trying to promote the podcast on one of those Facebook groups. And I ran into him in the group. He was selling it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Hey, you still got them?" And he said a guy was going to come and get them. And I was like, "Well, if you don't come, let me know." He called me. He sent me a message Sunday like, "You still want them?" I was like, "Yep." So yeah, went down there and got them, and that's what I've been working on. Yeah.
I'll get around to. I'm going to end up doing the same thing you're doing to mine, but I just wanted to see if I could get it working. Just because I tinker with stuff like that sometimes. I'll fix consoles and things just to see if I can sometimes. So
right.
And I know nothing about arcade units, so I'm going into it completely blind.
Yeah, me too. Like I know nothing, but I knew I wanted to do that. I always wanted one, and now I got one. It's gonna be on.
Yep.
But I ain't gonna get too far into that. Let's go ahead and get into our drink of the episode. I picked these up from Trader Joe's.
To suit the occasion.
Yes, because I went there to look for something that I saw on TikTok, and of course my Trader Joe's didn't have it. But they had this one. I thought this made a perfect addition because we went and got arcades, and we're drinking on Arcade
Pale Ale.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so this is out of Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
Pretty decent can. I like the art of it.
A classic American pale ale brewed with treasure chests full of hand-selected hops and a toasty malt backbone. A level up for the gamer in all of us.
And definitely we are gamers. Let's go ahead and see what this Edmund hitting on. Grapefruit?
I don't know.
I get a citrusy
There's
taste.
a citrus in there, but I don't get the bitterness of the grapefruit. Not on the front end, at least. Usually grapefruit hits.
It's not bad.
It's definitely a pale ale.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a citrusy. It's like a pale ale, a little heavier on the citrus.
Yeah,
it's not bad, though. Yeah,
it's not bad. What's the percentage on these?
4.7, I thought I saw.
Is it 4 point? Yeah, 4.7.
Yeah, so it's not bad.
It's not terrible. I'll have them again.
It's a very light beer, like, with a bit of a citrusy kick to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, we've had terrible, but this is definitely not bad. I'll drink it again.
Are you talking bad about the pickle beer?
Dude, I can't get it. I should have won. I like the art of it. Got the arcade cabinet, EOBC. Mm-hmm. Got the skull on the screen. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's cool artwork.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that up here with our drinking shrine over here.
Collection of drinks.
Yeah.
Slowly rotating collection of drinks.
Right. But yeah, this is pretty good. Shout out to Edmund's Oyster Brewing Company. Am I saying that right?
You're saying it as best as I would.
Okay. Shout out to you. Y'all make a good pale ale here. Let's go ahead and get into it though.
Cartridge Club.
Destroy All Humans.
What'd you think? Because I've played that game before, and I know you haven't. So I'm curious what you thought about it.
When you first gave it to me, I was like, this is probably the most kiddiest game that I went into it thinking it's going to be like a children's game, kind of PG or G-rated. As that's what I thought at first. But I was actually quite surprised.
It quickly turned that around.
Oh, the first 2 minutes, I'm like, whoa. Kyle just took a dump right on the TV. I was like, wow. And it was a lot. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun game.
I really like that game. I played it originally on the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. The first one I played was the sequel, the second game, but I think the second game's a little better than this first one, but it's not much different. It's a sequel. A few extra guns, stuff like that. So, I mean, basically, if you like this one, you're liking the second one.
Yeah, I think I would like that entire series because it has that element of that sneakiness where you have to basically change it to a human to get in different places and stuff like that. And I like that element of that game.
Yeah,
because I like the sneak. I like the Hitman series and that sneaking around and trying to figure out the best possible way to complete the mission. And that's what I really liked about the game. And then I also liked the parts where basically he had to complete random side missions. At first I didn't know that. It was you had to kill this person with a cow, or you had to sneak in here without being seen and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that part of the game.
Yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan of stealth games. There's a few I like. I do like the Hitman series, but that's because I like the stealth games where you just have a list of options. It's not
right.
It's not this is how you have to do the stealth. You don't have to sneak from room to room,
right?
Kind of thing. Or it's you can go in and you put on this disguise. You can kill this person. You can hide this, but you can do that. And they kind of have that with their own unique twist because you scan a person and you just become that person,
right?
And then you have to read people's minds to keep the guys going.
Right.
And they say some stupid shit.
Man, crazy too. And in the beginning, it was a bunch of hillbillies. And I was just like, man, this is crazy. They really got hillbillies in this game. it was fun.
I remember the one that the first time I had heard it when I replayed it, because I'd forgotten that it was in there. and it made me like bust out laughing because I just forgot about it, didn't expect it, is you can scan one of the police officers and just, they have a bunch of different lines for each style character, but one of them is the police officer goes, "Man, it feels like a good day for excessive force." I was like, what?
That's funny. The one part that had me really laughing, it was I think it was in the beginning where you like at this fair and you got to sneak to the fair, and then like on the top of the hill it was like 2 cars over there where the cars was rocking. I was like, oh wait. Then they had the one guy sitting there trying to peek in. I'm like, yo, he trying to peep a Tom dude over trying to watch them bang in the back of a Buick. I thought that was crazy. Yeah, man. I was like, wait, this is not a kid game at all.
Did you get, it takes a little bit to get there, so I don't know if you did or not, but did you get far enough to get the probe gun?
No.
The anal probe?
No. I got to the part, I think it was probably like the 3rd or 4th level where you had to sneak into like this, it was either a military base or a prison or something. And that's where I was just like, hey, it was too much. And I had to stop playing it. But yeah, that's how far I got.
The anal probe is my favorite weapon because it's fucking stupid. So, like, you get points in the game for harvesting people's brains.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So you get the anal probe gun, and you can just sit there and shoot people, and they just hold their ass and start screaming and running, and then they just fall over, and their brain pops out their ass.
I thought that was crazy, too. Like, just a brain just pops out of their head, and you got to scoop it up. The part, and you flying the ships, and you're blowing up the tanks. I like that part, too. And I guess the first Martian, are they Martians, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, the first one that they sent, he basically fucked up.
Yeah.
And the other dude had to go over and clean up his mess.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a good game. And I really enjoyed that. I might have to pick that up in the future.
Yeah, it's a good game. And like I said, the second one, they've also done a remake of that one. It's out too. So
okay.
They're good games.
Yeah, that's only on the 4, right?
I think they also had it on Xbox.
Okay. I might have to pick that up, go look for it next time I see it. I really like that game, and I think everybody else will like that game too.
It's it's the right amount of just go out and have fun. Like, they're relatively open areas.
Yeah.
And you can sneak around, or you can just start blasting people, picking up cars and throwing them into stuff. And then you get kind of like Grand Theft Auto. You have like your heat levels where it's like the police show up.
Yeah.
And the military shows up, and then the helicopters come in, and
it's not that hard of a game. I mean, you can enjoy it. It doesn't take a lot of skill to like really play. It's just really just game, just kind of just dicking around with and just laughing because there's some funny parts in there. Like, it's in the country, so a lot of those people talk real funny in this game. This game is so, if you want to call it like stereotypical.
Oh yeah,
it's very stereotypical.
It's It's the 50s. It's supposed to take place in like the 50s.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's 50s stereotypes.
Right. I'm gonna put it pretty high on my list. What about you? Where you got it at on your side?
I've been trying to think about that because I don't know.
It's up there.
It's up there. It's pretty high up for me. I've been debating on, do I like Returnal more or not? Because I'm very much like when it comes to like playing a game, I like a single player, sit down and you have the experience of it. You just sit down and you play the game kind of thing.
Just enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's very much what this is, or like Sphinx, which has been my number one this whole time, because that's just what that game is. You sit down and you play it. You go first. I'm still debating.
Okay. Well, I will put this above Black. So this is in my top 3.
Okay.
I said it's high.
Yeah, that is pretty high.
And I really enjoyed it. If I was playing this last night, I'd have been crying laughing.
Yeah.
Like, everything would have been super funny in this game to me.
I think everybody would have been crying laughing on some of the stuff they say.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it above Returnal, so number 2 on my list.
Number 2. All right. You're going to have to read it off.
So on my side of the list, you've got Sphinx, Destroy All Humans, Returnal, Actriser, Bully, Dementium, Black, Juiced, Katamari, Jet Set Radio, and Cathedral. On LSD side, you got Returnal, Actriser, Destroy All Humans, Black, Bully, Dementium, Sphinx, Cathedral, Juiced, and Katamari, and then Jet Set Radio.
All right, check it out, y'all. This is our list, if you can get a good picture of it. So, getting into our second part of the portion where we are drinking liquor.
Yep.
And never had this before, but you said you've had it before.
I've had it before, yeah.
Well, not this brand, but...
Probably not that brand.
This is 5 Farms Single Batch Irish Cream. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it because it looks like a milk jug.
Yeah.
Like one of those old vintage milk jugs.
Yep.
I just like the little top of it. I have no idea how to open this, so I'm about to just try to wing it.
Hope for the best.
We're going to mix these because I heard that it was probably terrible by itself.
Yeah.
So
you should mix it with something. We can try it by itself. I got cups over here. If you want to see what it's like on its own,
I don't know.
Do a tiny sip or something.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to look like milk. But
yeah, kind of. Close to like a creamer.
It is milky. Mm-hmm. But we're going to cut this with Starbucks single shot energy drinks. Because I need some energy. I've been running on E all day.
Yep, the richest dairy cream and the finest Irish whiskey. That is some Irish cream to me. It sounds about right.
All right. Well, I saw it's about, was it 17% alcohol?
Yep, 17.
So probably ain't going to get your toe up.
I don't drink much coffee. I'm not a coffee person. I have about 2 cups of coffee a year, and that's on Christmas Day. Cup of coffee with some Irish cream in it.
All right. Well, while I'm pouring up this and mixing it, we're going to get into our topic of the episode, and that is handhelds. Yeah,
handheld systems.
This actually looks like coffee.
It does already kind of look like it, yeah. Had I not previously talked about the Gizmondo in one of our other episodes, I would have talked about the Gizmondo here.
Right. I noticed that when I was looking up consoles.
Uh-huh.
I had some already in mind, but when I was looking up, I saw the Gizmondo came up, and I was like, oh, we already talked about that. Handhelds, man. Now, what's your first memory of a handheld?
The first handheld I ever really got to play with was the Game Boy Color. Was the first time I really got to...
Man, this shit delicious.
Isn't it?
Man, this shit delicious. God damn. Ooh, this is good.
Christmas morning, a cup of coffee with some Irish cream.
This shit good as fuck. Oh, what the man? I'm buy a case of this, Jack. 5 Farms. Shout out to 5 Farms. Yo, get some of this.
Yep.
This is delicious.
You just use that instead of creamer in your coffee, and you're good to go.
I know what I'm having tomorrow morning. Wow. Mm-hmm. What you think?
Oh, I really like it.
Oh, this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Shit.
It just tastes like a cup of creamy coffee.
Wow, that is awesome. Yummy. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
What is
half of this podcast is alcohol, so if you want to talk about the alcohol.
All right. So your first, you said it was the Game Boy Color?
Yeah, that was the first one I really got to play with it all, and that was playing Pokemon.
Okay. My first handheld experience, which I'm probably going to talk about, is the Tiger.
Okay.
Tiger handhelds. Mm-hmm. A little cheap handhelds. Janky. I think they were only like $20. Mm-hmm. And I do have that on my list to Tiger Electronics. Mm-hmm. So I'll just go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, go for it.
Founded in 1978, a year before I was born. Company started with low-tech handheld games and educational toys. And they sold for $20. Mm-hmm. They were known for like low-end screens. They contained a fixed image printed onto the handheld that could be seen through the screen. So they were just low image, low budget, kind of like a little pixelated, black and white most of the time. They weren't great.
No, yeah.
They were actually terrible. And I do have a story on that. The very first one that I got was Double Dragon.
Okay.
And I remember taking it to school. I had to be in the first grade. And I got a took from, there's a couple stories I got like that. But anyway, I got a took from the teacher. And the thing was, you get it back at the end of the year. Bitch, this was October. I never saw it again.
Yeah, no.
Never got it back. And I think she just took it home and gave it to her kids.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, I had that. And they actually known for some other stuff though. They're known for the Tiger Talking Learning Computer.
Okay. And
they're known for, I didn't know this, the Furby. I didn't know they had.
Yeah, no. I don't like Furbies.
And yeah, they're creepy. And the Talk Boy.
Okay.
The famous Talk Boy. I didn't know that they did that.
Neither did I.
But yeah, they had a big part of the gaming industry early on in the 70s. And we I had a few. I know I had Double Dragon, that was the first one. I think I had a couple of Disney ones too. And I mean, they were kind of fun. You didn't get far in them. It was like you just played it just to pass time, and then once you got bored with it, once the batteries went dead, that was it. You never played it again.
Yeah.
But they were fun. They were a fun little toy.
They were definitely interesting. By the time I was young, at least by the late 90s, they were low tech enough that they were giving them out with like Happy Meals and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where I have most of my experience with it, is playing like the Sonic ones, or there was Sonic. I know when Spyro and Crash Bandicoot were coming out, they had some versions of those. Never like anything great, but it was something in a Happy Meal. Yeah,
but I think that they were bought out by Hasbro.
Okay.
So Hasbro owns Tiger Electronics now. They got bought out in 1998.
Okay.
So.
Which was probably around the time when they started doing the McDonald's and McDonald's Burger King stuff, partnerships.
Right. So yeah, that's one of mine. I could probably say even further back, the earliest game I kind of remember playing was like this little handheld football game. They came out probably around the same time too. I don't know if that. I remember that one vividly was the first one that I had. But the football one, I don't think that was my first one. I think it just came up over time. I don't even know if it was mine. It might have been like my cousin or something. But I just remember playing it.
Yeah.
What you got?
So my first one is the Wonder Swan.
I had a Wonder Swan.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
It was weird. I came up on one. When I saw it, I was sitting there like, I had this shit. Yeah.
It's a Japanese exclusive. It was never sold here.
No, I got it from somebody.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody had it. And I remember having it.
That would have had to suck to have, because it was all Japanese and you couldn't buy the games here.
Man. You know what? I'm getting it confused. It's not the Wonder Swan. It's something else.
Okay.
Hold on. Go ahead. I'm going to find it.
So the Wonder Swan was made by Bandai. It was a Japanese exclusive handheld that came out in 1999. It was meant to be a competitor to the Game Boy Color. But it didn't last all too long. It was discontinued in 2003. Within that short run, it had 3 different versions of the system come out: the Wonder Swan Color, and the Wonder Swan Crystal. They were all pretty much the exact same thing with just some slightly different ports. Obviously, the Wonder Swan Color had a colored screen and stuff, versus like how the original Game Boy did it, where it was like the green and gray. Something I've always kind of found interesting about the Wonder Swan, though, was you could play it vertical and horizontal. And it had 3 sets of buttons on it. So you could play like arcade style games with it with a vertical screen. So you could do like your shooter games and stuff, Pac-Man, that kind of thing. Then you could turn it vertically, and you could play whatever various new games were coming out.
I was wrong. It wasn't the Wonder Swan I had. I had the Cybicto.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
That thing.
Okay.
That's what I had. Because when I saw the Wonder Swan, I was like, I saw that. But then I was right under it. That's why I'm thinking that I kind of crossed it.
But yeah,
I had that.
Okay. If you go back up to that Wonder Swan, you can see where I was talking about the buttons.
Yeah.
You can play it vertically or horizontally.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of one of the more interesting things about that system. Something I didn't know, actually, when I found out when looking this up, is I think we've talked about it on the podcast before. If not, you and I have definitely talked about it, was that memory card that was for the PlayStation 1 that had the screen on it.
Yeah.
The Wonder Swan could connect to that, and you could have not cross play, but like cross connection with your saves on your PlayStation 1 and Wonder Swan for Bandai specific games, which I think is really interesting. Because like Nintendo kind of did that a little bit with the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and then a little more into that with like the Advanced, but the Wonder Swan did that pretty well, apparently, from what I was able to see. And speaking of the Game Boy, the guy who made the original Game Boy, the big blocky gray one, is the guy who made the Wonder Swan. Like, he was the head designer for it.
Really? Huh.
Don't know why he skipped from Nintendo or what, but it said something about he left after the Virtual Boys failing.
No, he was like crushed his dream or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. You seen anime and old Japanese movies. If it's disgrace, they what they call it, where they stab themselves in the stomach and then they chop the head off for what, shame or whatever.
Yeah, the old samurais.
Oh yeah, so he probably felt shame and he had to go do the Wonder Swan. Which even shamed him even more.
Probably. I mean, the Wonder Swan didn't do terribly.
I thought, man, I could have swore I had that, but I know I saw it today. But then when I scrolled down, I was like, this is what I had.
Okay.
Which wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It honestly, it looks like something like my grandmother would have had to play solitaire on or something. But the Wonder Swan didn't do too terribly. Apparently in the year 2000, Bandai was working with Mattel to bring the Wonder Swan over to North America. Don't know why that fell through. Don't know why that...
Politics, man.
Probably. There's no real explanation why it fell through, but I think it would have been cool to see over here. Because, honestly, Nintendo's never really had any competition in the handheld market.
No, not really.
There was the PSP, and I wouldn't even call the Vita a competition. Because it's a good system, but it flopped so quick.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's really been the name brand, kind of just the beacon of handhelds. When the Game Boy came out with 88, 89, that was like, just groundbreaking because, you just put your cartridges in it and you just keep playing, regular games. And it wasn't just like the Tiger stuff, a fixed screen, and it barely shows a level or anything, like this one was more detailed. So the Game Boy kind of just like kicked in the door, waving the fofo, and just was like, yo, I'm shutting it down. And I mean, there has been good handhelds in the 90s, but Nintendo killed them all.
Nothing really touched Nintendo.
Which I'm surprised, when PlayStation came out with the PSP, it was I thought it was fun, but I guess nope, it wasn't touching Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advance. It just had way better picture quality, better graphics. You could watch movies on it, and I don't know why they just didn't keep cranking those out. You thought PlayStation had a thing, but
I think the problem was the Vita came out. And they fumbled the bag so hard on the Vita. Like, the system itself is really good. It's a really powerful system.
Right.
You can play great looking games. Like, they almost look like PS3 games on a handheld, which was crazy at the time.
Right.
But they just wouldn't put games out for it. They when it came out, they released like 5 games. You had like a God of War game for it. You had an Uncharted game for it, a Killzone game for it. There was a game called Gravity Rush that was really good.
I remember Gravity Rush.
But then pretty much like after that, it was just like leave it to other people to make games for our system, and they just kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
And it fumbled. I think they could have had so much more with it, but
I agree. I think they could have really knocked down the walls, probably put Nintendo way back if they just kept pushing them out, but it seemed like they just got lazy with it and just said, look, we're going to do away with this branch of video games. We're going to stick to just regular consoles. But my next one kind of run hand in hand with the Game Boy, the first Game Boy, the brick or whatever you want to call it, and that was the Turbo Express. Have you hip to the Turbo Express?
I do know about it.
Yep. That came out in 1990, and I remember when it came out. It was around the time when I had my TurboGrafx 16, and they was pushing the Turbo Express. It had a 2.6 color LCD screen. You know, with the Game Boy, it was just black and white, and you had to get that stupid like attachment light to get the light on it.
Yeah.
It was so dumb, but the problem with it was expensive. It was $250. $250 in 1990. That's like $800. You know.
Whereas like I think the Game Boy, the original Game Boy was like $89.
Yeah, it was like $89. You know, but you know it was basically just a portable TurboGrafx 16. You could take the card from the TurboGrafx 16, drop it into your Turbo Express, and you could play the game, the full game. That's what was dope about it.
Yeah.
That was really dope about it. And well, they sold 1.5 million of them, but they were still getting beat out by Nintendo and Sega with the Game Gear.
Yep.
And they just couldn't keep up with them. And another thing that was cool about the Turbo Express, it had a tuner, a TV tuner that you would stick on the side, and you could watch TV, like network TV with it.
Yep, I do remember hearing about that.
But you know what they're going for on eBay though?
Do I want to know?
On the low end, $250. High end, inbox, $4,000.
Nope, not touching that.
Yeah, like, and the ones that I saw on the low end was broken.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Yeah.
Right. So you probably in the middle of the road. You probably looking at about one that works without the box, maybe $800.
Yeah, that's not worth it to me.
Yeah, the TV tuner is cheap. I think I seen one for like $50.
Okay.
But the Turbo Express, like, they're out there. But they expensive.
The whole concept, the whole idea of that system is really cool because that's kind of what the whole marketing of the Switch is. It's like you have your games at home and then you just pick them up and you can go with them.
Yeah.
And that's what the Switch has gotten crazy popular off of. And I know Sega tried that themselves with the Sega Nomad.
I remember the Nomad.
I believe it was the Genesis games you could just pick up and go.
But it was big.
It was huge. It was
fucking like this big.
It was huge, and it had like an hour battery life, but it's still that concept of just pick your game up and take it with you. It's really cool.
Right.
And it surprises me that it wasn't really catching on even back in the day.
Yeah, and was it NEC, TurboGrafx 16? They had something. They was a little ahead of their time a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was around time, 16-bit wars was going on. So the Super Nintendo probably was just coming out. Genesis was out. So they battling each other. And this was just like another Japanese group trying to get their foot in the gaming world. Yep. And they had something. They just, they kept making them to like 94.
Okay.
And then after 94, that's when they just like, we're going to get out of this. We're done. I had a Game Gear. And it got stolen. I was in the 6th grade. My dumb ass, I took it to school. And I think we went to recess or something like that. And I think I had it in my desk. It was one of them old desks where you had to open from the top and you put the stuff in there. And I think I just put it in my desk. And I came back, getting ready to go home. Game Gear gone. Somebody stole my shit, man. And I don't even think I had it long. I think I probably had it for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
And it was gone. I was sick too. I was so sick. I don't even know who took it. Badass motherfuckers.
Well, my next one is a more modern one. Modern as in it just came out last year.
Last year? What came out last year?
This is called The Playdate.
I never heard of that.
Never heard of it?
Never heard of it.
It was a small, like, Kickstarter kind of thing that popped off, and it's a really cool concept, and I'm going to go into it here. The Playdate is a handheld gaming console made by Panic. It has a 1-bit black and white display. And one of the most interesting, unique thing about this system is it has a crank on the side of it. Turn crank. And you use it to play the games.
Huh?
So, like, let's say you have a fishing game.
Uh-huh.
You hit a button, you hit, like, the A button, and it throws out the thing, and then you start cranking.
Oh, like to reel it in?
Yeah, you reel it in.
Okay.
Or, like, there's a game on it that you use it. It's like a 2D platformer, like a Mario. So you're walking side to side, but you can use the crank to forward or reverse time in the game. And it's used for really interesting stuff like that.
Okay.
But like I said, it's a 1-bit black and white screen. It's really like low poly, but people have been making really interesting things with it. And when you buy it, it comes with 24 games. That are made between the developer Panic and a bunch of other people they worked with. And it makes you wait for those games, though. So you turn it on, and it's like, here's 2 games. And then you turn it back on next week. It says, here's 2 more games. And turn it on a week after that, here's 2 more games. And it's... As someone who wants to play through them, I don't know if that would... I don't know how I would feel about that. I might like that. I might not. I don't know.
Where is this made at? Is it North America? Or is it...
I don't know. I didn't write that down.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it. But
you just order it online. You can order it right now. Like, you can go and order it. It's $179. You can order it brand new, straight from them.
Really?
It's an interesting little unit. As of May this year, they have sold 53,000 units.
Okay.
Which isn't much in like the grand scheme of the gaming world, but for just some person making these, that's a good amount.
That sounds like when you said crank on it, I immediately thought that it was one of those things that didn't have batteries and you had to spin the crank just to charge the battery up. That's what I thought. But okay.
It's one of those cranks, but it's not for charging it. It has a little USB you plug in and it charges it up.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah, it's just a really interesting little system. It's not fighting for, the top system in the world, but at some point I'd like to get my hands on one because I think it's just an interesting little piece.
Right, just kind of like a conversation piece to have.
Yeah, it's something different.
I got you.
But yeah, that's the Playdate.
The Playdate.
You can buy one from the Panic's website if that's what you want to do.
All right, I'm about to go and look those up. My next one is kind of an old one. I would say probably the first handheld. And they were started in the 70s. And they were called the Microvision. And they were basically made by the toy makers, made by Mattel and Milton Bradley.
Okay, I've never heard these ones by name.
Yeah, so they only had 12 games. That was it, just 12 games.
Okay,
and it's probably my age bracket, probably your father's age bracket who would have played one of these, but they had like pinball, bowling, baseball. The biggest one was called Blockbuster. So I'm guessing that's the one with the ball at the bottom and just busting the bricks up top.
Oh, like Brick Break?
Yeah. That was probably like their most popular game.
Okay.
But they were cheap, little, probably like 2-inch by, probably 2x5-inch little console. They were real skinny.
Okay.
And, you can find them on eBay in the box for like $50.
Okay.
And, kind of, it had like a little LCD screen on it, black and white. Just had like the blocks, the 8 little bit blocks. and you just shoot like, yeah, kind of like the football one. It was about the same. I think Milton Bradley made that one too, or is it Mattel? It was one of those companies.
Okay.
So, but they didn't make a lot. There was only like 12 of them. They had a run span from like the late 70s to the early 80s, probably like 84, 85.
Okay.
So, that was mine one. I really didn't do a deep dive in it because it was a lot to take in. But
they sound interesting. I'm gonna have to look them up a little more.
Yeah,
just to see them a bit.
I looked them up on eBay. I saw some in the box for like $50.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Like, yeah, that's not terrible.
Okay.
You probably get all 12 of them for like a couple $100 if you want the whole complete collection or whatever. But yeah, they're pretty cool. They look, now you look at them now, they look like really cheaply made. Mm-hmm. There's probably small chip in there or whatever, just enough to power the LCD screen and the buttons that it had. Mm-hmm. And I think it took like 2 AA batteries or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Or it might just took a 9 volt. Might just been one 9 volt.
Okay.
But yeah, they're fun. At that age, I probably bore me to death now.
Oh yeah.
But back then they were fun. Kind of just stick around game. Kind of on the brand of like Atari. Mm-hmm. If people remember Atari, or no, I take that back. ColecoVision.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
More ColecoVision.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it for me.
My next one's a little bit to the side of handheld gaming.
Side.
Now I've got a statement to make.
Oh man.
The current phone market fucking sucks.
Ooh, yes.
It's gotten stale.
Let's talk about it.
You already know what I'm going to talk about?
I already know. Go ahead.
It's gotten stale. It's gotten stupid. Mm-hmm. They keep making the same damn phones over and over for the last like 10 years.
Ooh, look, another camera.
Yeah, look, the camera's slightly bigger. Oh, look, we added a second camera. Look,
these phones for
we
women.
added a third camera. Yeah.
These phones are for women. Like, we don't take cameras. We don't take pictures of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like women take 50 pictures of themselves to get the perfect one picture. And filters and I don't care about none of that shit.
Yeah.
But make it look different.
I take a lot of pictures, not of me, of my dogs doing stupid shit, but but I don't need
one and
6
done.
cameras to I don't need 6 camera lenses on the back of my phone that, it's like they just keep making the same phone.
Yeah.
And there's even there's the foldable phones have kind of gotten popular, but in like the workforce that you and I are in, those things would be broken in an hour. They'd get a little bit of dust in them because we work dusty jobs, physical jobs. They would just be done. It's not even worth looking at them.
That's an office phone. Somebody rich, Kardashian-ness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for y'all. That ain't for us.
What I'm trying to get at is somebody needs to make another fucking Sony Xperia Play.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to make another fucking Sony Xperia Play. Sony Ericsson Xperia Play.
I know exactly where you was going.
That was the coolest fucking phone ever.
Yep, boom.
Since then and still.
Yep.
like before and after.
I remember
coolest fucking phone. It slid out.
Yep.
Like your old text bar ones.
Yep.
And then you just had a fucking controller.
Yeah, right up under the screen.
You just all your buttons, you had your back buttons, you had the analog sticks were digital, but they tracked it. It wasn't like touching a stupid screen.
Yeah.
Getting your finger in front of it when you're trying to play a game and you can't see shit.
Yep, I remember that phone. I remember when it came out too, because my partner, he went and got a new phone. He ended up getting an Engage. Yep, that's what he ended up getting. And I ain't like that Engage. I was like, nah, this Engage, it ain't nice. That Sony, that was nice.
The coolest fucking thing to me about the Sony one, I never had one personally, but I had a buddy in high school that I played a lot of games with and stuff. He had one, and he kept it for the longest time.
He was rich.
I think he just wanted that phone, and he saved up his money for it. But the coolest thing to me was when you just had it normally, you just had your standard Android phone.
Yeah.
That's what it was, just a standard Android phone. But the moment you slid the controller out, the whole OS changed. It put you into a PSP OS.
Yeah.
To the whole menu system, it gave you all the options. There was an exclusive store on the Android store just for downloading the Xperia Play games. Because they ported PSP games to it, and you could just straight up play your PSP games on there. There was PS1 games ported to it. You just straight play PS1 games on there. Super easy. You slide out the controller, you tap, that's the game I want to play, and it boots the game with full controller support.
I remember that. That was a good... That phone was expensive, too.
It was. It was not a cheap phone.
I mean, compared to now, it'll be cheap.
Yeah, I think it was like $500.
Yeah.
But then that was like, whoa.
Yeah, $500 for a cell phone.
Because people were looking at $200-$300 phones and still thinking that was expensive. But.
Right. And now it's these $1,200, $2,000 phones that just give you a camera.
Yeah. And I
Facebook.
think... yeah. I think one of the other cool things is, since it was Android, you could just easily download emulators to it. And I wrote the small list of stuff. It could play anything from the Atari 2600 all the way up to the PSP and just emulate it with a controller right there. Save everything. It was portable gaming in the style of a PSP, but you could then just slide it back up and you had a normal cell phone. Yeah. And it was all in one package.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it just fucking works. Somebody needs to make another Xperia Play.
It's not.
Today's day and age, the kids are getting more and more into mobile gaming. There's like the Fortnite on there, the PUBG, they've got the Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah.
And those games are all taking off. And people are going out and spending $100, $200 on those like side attachable things to add controllers to their phones.
Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
And they work, but they're a bit janky. They're a bit loose. They creak. They feel weird. Just give me a controller built into it.
Yeah. But I think the other thing is they make the phones thinner and thinner. So I think they're really trying to go for thin, because if you think about it, that foldable phone is pretty thick.
Yeah.
But, you could take that extra screen out, and then you could just put a track in there where you just flip it up. Then you got like a full size keyboard or whatever under it, And these phones right here, man, like I don't even like this phone.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't happy with my iPhone because it was basically just the same iPhone that they've been cranking out for the past couple of years. So then I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this Samsung. Because everybody's saying, oh, the Samsung is the best phone out here.
Same phone the Samsung put out in 2008.
This shit is trash.
It's the same fucking phone Samsung put out in 2008. It's just a little faster.
Yeah.
The screen's got a little more pixel density.
And the fucking camera can go like 100 fucking miles out, the zoom on it. Like, that's...
When do you use that?
My son's football game. That's really about it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't give a fuck about this damn phone. Fuck this phone. And I'll never. I'm really thinking about this going to be my last cell phone. I'm going to keep this phone until it breaks. Until it won't come back on anymore. Because they just keep going up. Like, when is it going to stop? Like, you look up, it's going to be $5,000 next time for a phone. And nobody's saying anything, just letting them do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No one's putting a stop to anything. And I wouldn't complain as much if the cell phone market did stuff.
Right.
Like, they're just not doing anything. It's stagnant.
Yeah.
It's everybody, the iPhone and the Android, the only difference is the OS.
That's it.
When you turn on your iPhone, the icons look a bit different.
That's it.
And when you text somebody, it's blue.
It's blue.
That's the only real difference between iPhone and Android at this point. Like,
and my iPhone friends, my friends who have iPhones, they immediately noticed when I switched over. It's like, you don't have an iPhone anymore? That was the first text I got from everybody. I was just like, nah, man.
They're fucking sheep.
Yeah.
They're fucking sheep. I have an iPhone. I don't think it's anything special.
Yeah.
I use YouTube, I send text messages, and I use Apple Music. All three of those things can be done on any other phone.
Pretty much. Me, I text, fucking TikTok, Instagram. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all the fuck I use it for. fucking $2,000, and I just use it for texting, Instagram. Mm-hmm. Like I barely talk on this damn thing.
Yep.
So I don't even know why I haven't. I don't. I could save so much money. I could save so much money.
The iPhone I got back in like 2015, and not 2015. It was 2018, and I've not upgraded. Yeah. There's no reason to.
There's no reason. Like
the battery kind of sucks at this point, but
yeah, you can buy a new battery.
Yeah, there's just no reason to upgrade.
Only thing it did was, this phone's made out of titanium. So the fuck what?
The back of it's still glass. It's gonna shatter.
Right, like, well, I'm with you on that. Like a good gaming phone will be fantastic. I don't know who they gotta talk to.
They do make gaming specific phones. But the problem is they are just a standard phone. It just they look exactly like your Samsung. They just have a bigger bump in the back because there's a fan in there to cool it. And that's like it's still just the awkwardness of playing on a phone. Like
yeah. And I don't know, man. Like, and it got this little pen in it. Yeah. And I use that to sign documents. That's it. But I don't have any last words. I ain't got no more consoles. I mean, there's a bunch of handhelds out there. There's a bunch of them I would like to have. It's just the price is just way up there for them.
Oh yeah.
And if you try to find them now, $500-$600, easy. You know, you can find like the little janky ones, the Microvision and the Tiger Electronics for cheap, but Atari Lynx, $1,000.
The problem is Nintendo blew everything so far out of the water that nothing else sold well. So everything else is a rare console. Yeah. So if you want to buy it, you're paying rare console prices.
You're paying premium prices.
Yeah.
Prices.
Handheld gaming's always just been interesting.
Yeah. And pretty much Nintendo it's all handheld now. They, you know, the Switch, got your dock, you can take it as a handheld, whatever. So, well, that's about our time, y'all.
Yeah.
So, I'm still kind of drunk from yesterday, and it's kind of evened me out right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and polish off this, and we'll see y'all guys next week.
Yep. Like, subscribe, hit that like button, follow, leave a comment, leave a review.
Please.
Do all that fun stuff. It helps us out, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, and play along with us, man. We like to get some feedback from our games. If you like them, if you have them, play along with us, and let us know what you think about the games too. Well, I'm LSD.
And I'm Eggs.
Peace.
See ya.